King of the Hill, it was very rarely used in the competitive scene in Halo 3. So for Halo Reach, it's now 2 of the new game types. And there's 2 different approaches to King of the Hill. One team, on one hand, you'll find teams that no matter what the circumstance, they're always able to like milk a lot of hill time, just like scrap up time, even though there's a bunch of other teams alive. Whereas you'll find other teams that they wait till they get full setup. They have just sort of specific full setups that they do where they get all 4 down and they set up and try to get a whole chunk of time all at once. So it's kind of all or nothing for them. Either they're going to get like 40 to 50 seconds of time, or they're not going to get any time during that whole period. So it's really interesting to find out which strategies work against each other, because obviously, you know, when that full setup team does very well and gets their setup, you're in a lot of trouble. Whereas our team is one of those ones that scraps up a lot of time. So we always seem to have close games, or being, you know, we found a lot of success with that style.
There's certain maps, like they just implemented 2 new game types, and they're both King of the Hill game types, which we have not seen yet in Halo Reach. And those game types are mainly focused around where the hill is going to be moving. And if, let's say the first hill is always in just like a center area, and so it's like no power positions. You don't need to control like a certain side of the map. You just kind of have to like hold down the hill. And then the hill will move to either red or blue side in like what we call the square, and it's just a certain area. You have to, when you know hill's moving to, let's say, blue, you got to set up 20 seconds before hill's moving to make sure that your team's going to be on that side of the map, so you don't, like if you die at blue, then you're going to spawn at red, which will give the other team perfect setup, and it'll give them all map control, which means you have to break their setup, which if the other team's holding it down, then you could lose 120 straight seconds of hill. So I mean, King of the Hill is a lot more of what's going to happen instead of what's happening. You got to focus on where you're going to put yourself and how that's going to benefit your team, as well as how you're going to get the objective done.
They do have specific names for each area in the map, so it is, you know, a lot of information, and you have to think quick off your feet. So, you know, you'll be playing, it'll be like P2, P2, S2, S2, he's on red. So a lot of information going into your head, and it's how you take that information and use it on your thumbsticks. So just those are the players that are the best, the people who can listen and actually do what they're told, you know. So on the Halo side, you'll see a lot of call-outs and communication. That's basically the key point.
I would almost even compare our call-outs to a militaristic approach, where we try to use as few syllables as possible. We try to find out the, I guess, most common areas that people go on the map. We don't have a call-out for every single little spot, but once we find out a spot that people seem to hide in a lot, we will come out with call-outs for those spots. So we generally, you know, besides each main area, we'll have a few small specific call-outs, but beyond that, we don't want to jumble just, you know, every single thing where they're at, because for the most part, some of it's irrelevant.